The following program is presented by Tracy, Alston of New Mentality PC and Mental Edge Fitness Solutions.
Welcome to Mental Fitness Matters, a show designed to provide people with tips, strategies, and solutions to improve their mental fitness. Now, here's your host, Tracy Alston.
Hey, everybody. I hope you guys are out there having a great week. We are going to have an amazing show today. In the studio, I have with me no stranger to WSIC radio station and no stranger to the Mental Fitness Matters show. I have my friend, Patrick Reynolds. He is just a light. You're a light. You really are. I'm so thankful that you're on with me today, buddy.
I'm blushing.
Yeah.
Already, you got me blushing.
I'm just excited. I'm excited. Patrick
you.
Reynolds Community. He is a live event host. He's an MC and an inspirational speaker. And he is one of the most kind, gentle humans that I know. You really are. So
Wow.
welcome, my friend.
Gosh, thank you
Welcome.
so much for the warm welcome back into the studio. It's been a little bit since I've been here. Missed you.
I missed you.
Well, of course you did. I'm spectacular.
You're amazing.
I'm a delight to be around. Of course you miss me. As
Yeah.
usual, I missed you too. It's
How
good
you
to be
been,
here.
buddy?
Been good. Been
Yeah.
good. It's been years of growth, evolution.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the older I get, the realize nothing stays the same. Everything changes in growth. And don't ever stop growing, which is a big part of the message for your show.
Absolutely.
Grow, evolve, embrace
Yes.
life as it rolls. So yes, thank you so much for the invitation to come back here.
I could not think of anybody better, especially with this month being June is Men's Health Month. And such an important topic of being able, not only physical health, but mental and emotional health is big. And you're one of the guys that I know that takes all of it very seriously. You're doing your own work. You put light out into the world. You're inspiring and encouraging other people. So what a perfect person to be available for us to do some men's health talk today.
I'm looking forward to the conversation, and I'll confess, I did not even know that June was men's mental health month.
It's
correct?
like Men's Health Month.
Men's Health Month.
Yeah,
Okay.
so encompassing all of health, but we're going to talk about men's health
right.
and mental health.
I have encouraged several men with the mental aspect of that. And
Yeah.
you know, I've learned a lot right here on your show, too.
Thank you for
Mental
always
fitness.
tuning in.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's a great show if you're not tuning in. 8:30 a.m. Thursday mornings. Don't miss her. It's good stuff.
It's good stuff.
And we can go down that road, sure.
Let's do it. But before
Yeah.
we do that, let's tell, just in case somebody's hopping on for the first time, if you're just tuning in to the Mental Fitness Matters show for the first time, Patrick, tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, who you are, and then we'll get into some good conversation about men's health.
This is the part where I place the gratuitous commercials and promotions for all what I'm got going on.
Good.
Yes. Connecticut native, transplant to Charlotte, had a career in motorsports and NASCAR, found my way into radio through right here, WSIC, and currently I'm a live event host, MC, and speaker around the Lake Norman, Charlotte area with several platforms. One of them is Waves Entertainment. They host a lot of concerts, live events, festivals in the area.
You're doing something every week, aren't you?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. We have, I don't know the numbers what this will be in 2022, but in 2021, Waves Entertainment had some manner of production in 101 different live events.
Wow.
Coming out of the pandemic. 101 live events for Waves Entertainment, and I emceed or hosted 71 events. Most of those
Awesome.
cross over with Waves. I do speak on my own outside of Waves. But if you want a cool, like a concert tour to follow, if you go down wavesentertainment.com or their social media, you will find a lot of good music and fun stuff to do this year. And also, I speak at prmc.com. Which I found out the word MC is the letter M and the letter C and 3 silent E's. Because I look at the website and it's very awkward to say it's PREMCEE.com. And I'm looking at all those letters going, that's 3 silent E's. But yeah. So just tonight, if you are listening to us live, June 23rd, we are at Langtree. Off of Exit 31 in Mooresville every single Thursday. So we've got a great concert tonight, Exit 31, just to the west side of the highway, and then every Thursday. We're doing concerts Friday nights at Brookdale Village in Huntersville off exit 25 off of 77. And next week, if I got enough time to plug this, has been a week Waves Entertainment has circled on our calendar all year long. We're
Wow.
doing June 30th. Listen to June 30th. We got the concert at Langtree. July the 1st, we have a big concert in Ballantyne on a repurposed golf course.
Wow.
That's what it's called Live at 11. It's on the old 11th hole.
Yeah.
Along next to that, simultaneous with that, we're also doing the concert at Brookdale. So we got two going on at the same time. July the 2nd, more local to where our studio is, we are bringing the stage, the sound, and the concert and the bands to Troutman's Independence Day celebration at the Iredell County Fairgrounds for
Buddy,
fireworks.
you better be catching up on your sleep now.
I'm not even done.
Oh, my gosh.
Rocky Lynn will be part of
It's
that
like-
show
Really?
on July 2nd.
Rocky.
Love Rocky
Love
studio
Rocky.
just down the hall here.
Yep.
On July
awesome.
2nd in Troutman. And we are also bringing the stage, the sound, and our new LED screens to the YMCA in Mooresville on July 3rd for their concert and
huge.
fireworks.
That's
and
huge,
July 4th, the Waves Entertainment crew gets to take a nap. We're going to sleep
You're going to sleep.
on the 4th.
As
but yeah,
you should.
yeah.
As
And,
you should.
You know, there is
It's
nothing
like-
better than Pat Shannon waving at you through the window.
As you
Hey, Patrick to Patrick. Hey,
Pat to
Pat
Pat,
Shannon.
yes.
Yeah. Pat Shannon coming up at 9 with home ad. I can do the promotions.
You can do the promotions, buddy.
See, the career in NASCAR carried over to radio because I know how to promote and drop the sponsors, you know.
And bring the energy. You
Yes.
know how to do just
The
that.
mental fitness matters. Chevrolet ran great today. I want to thank Tracy and the crew. They did great on pit road. Isaiah's changed the tires. It was good.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
So, yeah, a lot of stage time, a lot of MC and hosting work.
Yeah.
And we'll probably... I just finished a men's workshop that I did on my own speaking, which probably
Yeah.
will bleed the natural segue into our conversation that we're about to venture down through mental fitness.
Yes.
I'm thinking. We
You're
may
there.
do
I
that.
think you're spot on, and I think that's a great thing and place to start because when we think about men's mental health, really that population, when we talk about men seeking help, asking for help, expressing and talking about their emotions, we're seeing that that's just not really happening quite as much.
Gosh.
Depression, anxiety, substance abuse, suicide rates are higher for men. And you just did a workshop
Right.
for men's health. Let's talk a little bit about your workshop that you put on, but let's get into the conversation about maybe why men aren't necessarily talking as much.
Yeah, that was a big part of the workshop, and gosh, it blends right into what we're talking about. The I guess goal of the workshop or the focus of it was almost like a subtitle: "Macho Man to a Hero with Feelings." That is the message that I try to go, and
Yeah.
I think it is the natural machismo
Yeah.
that men have, and and I see a lot of groups like this that are geared towards women. I see a lot of women's groups, which is good because women need this too. And I was a noticer of these women's groups, but I didn't want to interfere just with being a male. And I looked at the women's groups, but yet it was hosted by a woman, told to women, and yet as a male, I'm looking at it like, man, I could use this.
Yeah.
I could use to sit in on this conversation. So I decided to start a men's workshop, and I want to. More thanks and plugs right here. I want to thank the folks at Studio 13 in Cornelius and Waves Entertainment for helping to facilitate this. They you know, as I spoke with Isaiah off air, we were talking before the show of you don't just see your time on stage and the mic and think that's all you do. There's a lot of prep work that goes behind this.
Absolutely.
So I had a team that
Yeah.
helped me put this thing together, even though I was, kind of center stage on this. And that was the idea. Is I've been through a lot, and I thought. I was qualified to speak on men's emotions, men's feelings, the feelings of anxiety, depression, suicide thoughts, all that really came to light during the pandemic when there were no distractions. There were no distractions. There was nothing to do. We were all home, and we were all left to face our mental challenges or whatever they were. And these are things I thought, here's how I felt I was qualified to talk on this. I'm not a certified counselor, coach, or anything, but I've been to lots of coaches. I've been to a lot of counselors. Yes, I've been to therapy. I've been in counseling. Guys, it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Actually, I find it a pillar of strength. It's a sign of strength if you can ask for help, which is a total 180 degrees of what we're trained to. Women, too, for that matter.
Yeah.
All of us, we want to be heroes.
Yep.
We want to carry the world on our shoulders, and we don't want to ask for help. And the sign of strength is it's okay to ask for help.
It is.
And there's a couple of analogies here. Is in the NBA, the leading last-second shot maker to win a game. Who would you think that would be? Take a guess, NBA player.
Steph Curry.
Incorrect, but great guess. Yeah. All-time leader in NBA, Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Curry, great guess.
Yes.
Yeah, but the all-time leader. Guess who is the all-time last-second shot loser because he missed it?
Oh.
Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Because he took it.
Yeah.
He took the shot. Leading home run, leader all-time home runs in Major League Baseball, Babe Ruth. Leading strikeout king in baseball, Babe Ruth.
Yeah, because
he took the shot.
Yeah,
right.
at bat.
It's like nobody talks about how many times these guys fell,
Right.
failed,
Yeah.
didn't get it done.
Yeah.
And that's why I looked at going back to the mental aspect of it. I was like, I've been through my own stuff. I was like, what qualifies me? Because I failed.
Experience.
Because I've fallen.
Yeah.
And I had people that helped me back up.
It's big.
And what I took is just listening to your show, the lessons my counselors give me, the lessons my coaches, and yes, plural, I've seen several over time, and it was okay. And I'm thinking back to ties into the women's groups. I didn't see the women's groups being, I didn't see anything for men being promoted, or very little. And I thought I would offer this up. And here's where I'm going to talk about what you could call a failure or a success, depending on your perspective. Is I designed an 8-week program for men's, just a men's group. Guys, I'm going to talk to you about this. We're macho, but it's okay to address anxiety, depression, what have you. We're going to have this. I got Studio 13 in Cornelius. I'm going to have a men's group with the day, the time. Boom, got it all set.
Right?
Do you know how many people signed up?
How many?
1.
Yeah.
Now, is that a failure or is that a success on my part? I think in the sales aspect of it, I didn't accomplish what I wanted to. People don't realize even, your business, your career, it is business.
Yes.
You do have to make sales and
You need people in seats.
You need
You need
people,
butts in seats.
The dollar, the spreadsheets, the dollar figure. That is the unsexy part of this job, but it is part of it. It's still business. Now, this financially, with one guy, did not make sense. However, I let him know the day before, and that's, I think, internally, I look back, that's a sales problem with me. I think the product's good. I think we're talking about is good. Is what eyes did I or did I not get it in front of? So what I did is I let him know the day before. I said, this is not what you signed up for. However, if you would like to go on with this, just you and me, I'll do it. He said yes.
That's awesome.
So we went in our very first. I had a syllabus each week. I designed out my 8-week syllabus, and I envisioned talking to a men's group. 5 guys, 10 guys, 15 guys, I don't know, however many showed up. So it was this one guy. So I had a syllabus on my laptop every week of what I wanted to talk about. We never touched it. I looked at it when he came in, and I'm ready to speak. And I said, I'll keep him anonymous because I kind of respected the HIPAA laws, even though I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
As it doesn't apply here, but I think out of respect, I won't identify him. But like week 1, I said, okay, so tell me, what brought you in here? Why did you sign up? And he spoke, and I listened for the entire time period. I think we did an hour.
Yeah.
And at the end of week 1, or the first session, we got 7 weeks to go. I said, well, what do you think? He said, I want to come back. I can't wait to come back. Thank you for listening to me. And by the way, I am glad nobody else showed up to this thing. So we met for 8 weeks straight at Studio 13 in Cornelius, and we had our time just a one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I would get texts and messages every week about his personal life, what we talked about, what we were discussing, and he thanked me every single week.
That's amazing.
So I was able to help
and give him a space.
one guy.
Yeah.
One guy. But you know what? We all say that. Like if I had a room full of 100 people, and I said, if I helped one person, this was worth it.
That's it.
Now I know I did help the one person. I wish there were 20 in there, but there was
one
one
guy. What do you
guy.
think that is in terms of those barriers where when we think about men and seeking help and even signing up for a group like that, for him to be excited to say, you know what, I'm glad I was the only one here. What do you think that is as it relates to why men don't necessarily ask for help or reach out or speak or show up in spaces like that?
Well, part of it's our upbringing, part of it's society. I think part of it's actually the way the man's brain is wired. I was thinking about on the drive up here, how traditionally, and I've seen this happen, and it's like 100% rate. If you have a couple of children, and I've done this with my friends, a boy and a girl, say 2 years old, and you put them in a room with some toys, the boys traditionally gravitate towards the cars, the trucks, the bulldozers. A girl will look at the dolls, the house, the kitchen. So there is something fundamentally there, just, in male and female. I believe, I've said this on air before, we're equal, but we're not the same. There's differences, and we should honor and respect those differences.
And I think some of that, too, socially, you kind of start to see that. But kids just like to play.
Yeah.
When it comes out, kids just want to play, have fun.
Yeah.
If it's pink, if it's blue, if it's yellow, if it rolls, if it makes a noise, they want it.
It's cool.
They want it.
It's cool. And you can see differences.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that carries over as men grow, women, girls to women, boys to men. And that macho aspect is there, and that's a tough barrier. Where I think the women's groups, there is that nurturing, caring, something in a female brain that just allows that and is more accepted. And I'm not sure why, because I'll readily admit I've been on air, I've been public on social media. Some things I keep private, but I'm very forward on this, that here is a men's group, and I'm telling guys it's okay.
Yeah.
And the reaction to this was extremely positive and popular. I had a lot of people tell me, this is a good thing you're doing. I'm so glad you're doing this. Guys need this. But like 90% of the people that told me that were women. That said guys need this. There were a few guys, but there is this barrier.
Yes.
Of machismo, macho. I don't need no help. You see the action movies. The hero takes the bullet. He puts his hand over it, goes, keep going.
And when you think about action heroes in movies and ways that men or that hero is portrayed, there's a look that it has, whether it's strong, whether it's whatever that looks like. So men begin to see themselves in that image of being that macho guy. I was looking at some research, and there was a men's health charity, MOVEMBER. They looked up 2 words that have been a psychological impact on why men aren't speaking up. And it's this term of man up, or men don't cry, boys don't cry. And it said over 47% of men ages 18 to 34 feel pressure to be manly or masculine. And to maintain this appearance of masculineness, the research finds that 38% of them do not talk to others about their feelings, and almost 3 out of 10 have never cried or showed emotion in front of other people. So not crying, sharing tears, don't cry, boys don't cry, that is something that has been said over and over again. And the cool thing about it is research shows tears are a form of emotional release. They're necessary. And so when we think about the developing brain and babies and young kids, they're crying all the time because they're trying to process and release traumas because their brain can't put that in context. If your dad's out of the room for 5 minutes and you start crying and he doesn't come back, or he does come back, you're trying to process what's going on here. So tears are a natural thing, and being able to kind of start having that conversation that it's okay to have this group. It's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to cry. We want to encourage that. It's a release.
I can't believe those numbers are that low,
Right.
really.
Right, yeah.
38%, 3 out of 10 have never done it in front of others. Are you kidding me? I would have figured it'd be like 7, 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think, and I've compared this, interesting you bring up the action hero aspect, because I'm a product of the 80s, Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and there's a big masculine, muscular guys, and all the guys wanted to be like that. And I've learned from my counseling, through coaches, that the brain needs to be exercised just like the body.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my guy in my seminar it's going to take a while. It's just like physical fitness.
Yep.
You want to look at Schwarzenegger or Stallone in their prime, and you want to go to the gym, you absolutely can look like them. What you can't see is your mind. And your mind, in the title Mental Fitness Matters of this show, this is exercise for your brain. And I compared things that were frowned upon for guys: journaling, meditation, mirror work. These are like pull-ups, sit-ups, bench press, squats for your brain.
Yes.
That's what you're doing. You're deadlifting for your brain. You're bench pressing for your brain. You're making your mind stronger.
Yes.
And for years, I worked out my body, paid no attention to my mind. My mind is still developing. I've got a lot to go. I'm still the Michael Jordan that's not hitting that last second shot. That's still me. I do hit one occasionally, but I'm not 23. The ball needs to go to him. I'm not that guy yet. But I'm working on myself in trying to improve it, getting better at life. That's where I wanted to pass off to hopefully a room full of men the next time. Because I do want to retool this workshop and have another one.
I'm so glad you're doing that and creating a space for that, because it's necessary, because there does have to become a place where we get into the gym, so to speak. I love that analogy, because for so long, if you have been told, men don't cry, you'll be fine, dust it off, keep going. Again, research shows that men would rather say, I'm tired, I'm fatigued, I'm overwhelmed, versus I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm stressed, I'm depressed, I'm anxious. Those terms are not coming out of the mouth. It's more of, I'm just a little tired. Or when we talk and ask how we're doing, we'll say, how are you doing today? I'm good. Most of us just say, I'm good, and we deflect to the other person so they can ask, how are you doing? I'm fine, and you move on to a whole nother conversation. But there's so much underneath that surface, and so really creating strategies, especially if you are a spouse in the home of a man, or you know a man, or you have a father or son, beginning to show up in different ways of how we communicate and express ourselves, creating spaces like you're doing with your group, or even opening up a little bit longer, using those feeling works. How are you feeling? And let's talk about a word that matches that. Not just I'm good, but what does I'm good really mean? How do we go a little deeper? How do we start to open up and release some of these underlying traumas that are laying dormant? Because what's really happening, if we're learning and teaching our young men that they shouldn't cry, they shouldn't feel, bottle up their emotions, when they start to talk about it, it doesn't come out as expressing emotion. It comes out as anger, rage, frustration, suicide. So there's a big difference between being emotional, sensitive, and vulnerable. When I think about that word vulnerability, we have to begin to train vulnerability, because emotional and sensitivity can look like the words I just described. We can be emotional. We all are. We can show and express anger, frustration, but being vulnerable, it's a little bit deeper than that.
I liken the vulnerability factor to shields. We put our shields up, and our intent is to protect ourselves. Don't make yourself vulnerable. What you're also, your intent, I'm going to keep the bad stuff out. What people don't realize, you're also keeping out the good stuff. The love, the light. That can't get to you because your shields are up. You're deflecting. You're not letting yourself be vulnerable. And I think the stay-at-home order of 2020 opened up. We peeled open the cover off of this thing.
Absolutely.
I am very guilty of distractions. I can't deal with my important mental things or personal things because I had plenty to keep me busy. I was out. I was involved, like I said at the top of the show, with all these concert promotions with Waves. I had plenty to keep me busy, so I didn't have time, or I could easily avoid or deflect what was troubling me in my mind. And I'm still working through that right now. I'm staying busy, but that's it. We didn't have the distractions of 2020. Now we're just alone in our thoughts, or with our family, with our spouse, wherever you were. Some people were just literally alone. In a home. That's where it was. But there, your mind had no distractions, and you had to address. It came to the forefront, your troubled times. And that's what I want to it's okay for women, but it's okay for guys too. Well, you can be tough. You can be macho. You can be strong and address this and say, I'm sad, I'm lonely. It doesn't make you any weaker. It doesn't make you less of a man. Personally, I think it makes you more of a man because you're willing to step up and go against the grain and say, I need help.
Absolutely.
I'm troubled. I got something on my mind, and I want to talk about it.
There's a really good book and a really good guy. His name is Justin Baldini. He has a book called Man Enough, Undefining My Masculinity. And that is a really, really good read, has a great podcast. And he talks about undefining masculinity because somewhere along the way, somebody has defined what it means to be a man. And so everybody's been chasing what the idea and the image of what that man's supposed to be like, look like, feel like, communicate like, all these things. And so in his book, he talks about removing the definition of what it is to be a man and allowing people to really be free, because there's so many parts of who we all are. that get shut off, that get restricted, that get suppressed because that doesn't fit the mold of what culture has said it needs to be. And so it really starts back in our childhood. It starts back with how we're raised, what we're taught, what we see, but it also starts back from what your parents saw, what they were raised with, what they see. Was there a lot of love and affection? Were you able to touch? Were you able to say, I love you? And so these things are passed down. And so we have to be able to say, how are we reteaching and how are we undefining what it means to be a man and undefining what it means to be human?
I remember in Little League, whatever old I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, there was something going on and I was crying. And I was sitting in my mom's car. My dad leaned in and said, hey, men don't cry. And decades later with my son, he was about the same age, not Little League, but something else, and he was crying, and I hugged him.
Oh,
and I knew that's how I wanted to be with my son. It's like, it's okay. You can be, that doesn't mean you're not a man.
Yeah.
You are strong. You are macho. You are tough, but you can cry too.
Buddy, I appreciate you. You know our time goes way too fast.
Know.
Patrick, how
You
can
need
they
an
reach you?
hour.
We do. We need an hour. They got 30 seconds. How could they reach out and see if they can get into this men's group?
My webpage, prmc.com. That's premcee.com, or Speedway Pat on Instagram. You can also check out wavesentertainment.com. You could reach me through that, wavesentertainment.com. That's waves like the ocean.
Waves like the ocean. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay to express. Reach out also to tracyalston.com, guys. If you're looking for some additional support, we got some good deals for our men out there. I want my community to go out and shine bright like the stars that we are. See you guys next week. Thank you, buddy.
That's it for today's episode of Mental Fitness Matters. Get more tips, tools, strategies, and solutions that will help you reach your peak mental fitness by joining Tracy every Thursday from 8:30 to 9 a.m. and 6:30 to 7 p.m. for Mental Fitness Matters on News Talk WSIC.